roller derby here at the bunker in Downsview Park in Toronto. I'm the Derby Nerd, back on the mic with Monichrome.
Here we are again.
Monichrome. Here we are again. This is, we're about to call the last game, as we mentioned, it's become somewhat of a grudge match between these two teams. This is the third consecutive year they have faced one another. So far, Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars hold a 2-0 lifetime career edge against Toronto's CN Power, including a thrilling 45-point win in last year's Quad City Chaos. I think Toronto is hoping for a different result tonight.
I think so. And given this weekend, I think that we can maybe expect a little more pushback than we saw in previous years.
That's right. Yeah, it's they've narrowed the gap quickly. And we are off. The Smacktivist, outstanding jammer from Ohio Roller Girls, up against Motorhead Molly in the pink from CN Power. Both lines going all D, and Molly's got the front of the pack to work with, gets by Avatar on the outside, and she has one to beat. Having a hard time, but she is your lead jammer.
Smacktivist quickly making that outside line open, and they are out of this pack. Motorhead Molly approaching the back of the pack now.
Motorhead Molly coming off of an incredibly strong game last night against Montreal's new Skids on the block. Hoping to continue that success here against Ohio. Nice fast pack defense from the skaters in black out of Columbus to keep that scoring down to just 1 point. 1-0. First blood goes to CN Power. Number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom out there against number 905, Ballerina in the pink for CN Power. Ohio Roller Girls in the black and green.
CN Power in pink.
Still 5-on-5. Lorraine Acid holding the outside line. Avatar on the inside for Ohio.
Ohio has 2 to beat now. Ballerina still at the back of the pack. Looks like she's got some open lines there, having a hard time finding them. Both teams battling it out.
Lorraine Acid just missing a hit, and that allows Ballerina to get through, and she is the lead jammer. Out of my way, man. The last line of defense has to let her go. Doing a nice job holding Kitty Lickerbottom, but she's finally through, but a half a track to make up. Again, we're seeing the ability of the Ohio Roller Girls to take the front of that pack and speed things up. Avatar being held back. There's going to be at least 1 point picked up for Bala. She goes through, picks it up, calls it off, gets 2. Very calculated start. Both teams kind of feeling each other out here in the early going.
Yep, just taking those inches one at a time.
Incredibly short bench, too, these Ohio Roller Girls. 1 skater changed on this line from the previous. Out of my way, man, Lorraine Acid and Avatar staying out there.
Dusty in the pink, jamming for CN Power, the Smacktivist, 365 for Ohio.
Dinah Hurt to the pivot for CN Power, right in front of Smacktivist with Jubilee. They immediately lock in on her at the back, and Dusty up front now gets past Lorraine Acid. Out of my way, man, and Lorraine Acid the last 2 lines of defense, but swallowing Dusty back up, and that's going to allow Smacktivist to get through and pick up the first lead for the Ohio Roller Girls.
Dusty just barely had 2 to beat. Isn't able to make it around. Doesn't have to go back to the full back of the pack. Smacktivist entering the pack already. Dusty makes her way out of that pack. Smacktivist at the back. All D against Smacktivist, and they call off the jam.
It looks like a penalty at the very end of that jam is going to go, I believe, to... No, it was to a CN Power blocker, so that will give a 4-3 pack advantage to Ohio. And in a game this tight, any of those pack advantages might be a big difference. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. No, it's 3-3.
It's 3-3.
Out of my wayman was sneakily holding that spot on the line and just slipped off before the jam began. Kitty Lickerbottom back on the line, number 12 in black against Motorhead Molly, number 204.
Kitty Lickerbottom does make it through. Motorhead Molly gets knocked out, 1 to beat. Having a tough time, Ohio keeping that front line of defense solid.
Skate Crime is the pivot. She's been playing for both Gangrene and Ohio this weekend. Kitty Lickerbottom picks up all 4, and we have ourselves a lead change. First of this game, 7-3, Ohio.
I don't think it'll be the last, given how we've seen the last 4 minutes play out.
I don't think so. 2 big blockers in the penalty box for Ohio. Avatar and Lorraine Acid. Mega Boosh in the box for
CN Power.
CN Power, thank you.
The Smacktivist with the star for Ohio in black. Number 905, Ballerina in the pink for CN Power.
Amazing endurance from Smacktivist, beginning this game jamming off on. You see a lot of blockers do that. You don't often see that with jammers.
Yep.
Oh, and
but you see why. Smacktivis is in the lead. Ballerina still has one to beat. She does eke out. And Ballerina is just behind Smacktivis. Smacktivis entering the back of the pack.
Nice hit by Jubilee, forces the call off. Massive penalty troubles adding up here for Ohio. Out of my way man is the last blocker on the track. Avatar coming out of the penalty box will go right to that line. And they're Dusty lining up at the 12:34 Skate Company jam line. Pretty good crowd for a Sunday afternoon at the Quad City Chaos, I have to say, and they're very vocal in the early going. Big Rig getting her first jam for Ohio.
That's Dusty, number 2 in the pink for CN Power. Trying to tiptoe her way on that outside line. Both jammers having trouble against these tight packs.
Dusty now up against Avatar. Out of my way man comes in. It's a formidable 2-wall at the front of that pack, pushing her outside and now inside. Nice quick re-entry from Dusty. Megaboosh coming out of the sugarbomb.ca penalty box, and Dusty gets through, and she is your lead jammer.
Megaboosh making it hard for Big Rig there at the back. And Megaboosh is called to penalty box.
She knew it. She didn't mean to do it. She smiled as soon as it happened and made her way to the penalty box promptly. 2 penalties picked up early, though, for Boosh.
Oh, that was Betty Bomber stopping that drawback. And Dusty is out of the pack. She's picked up 5 points.
That was a really heads-up play by Betty Bomber to allow Dusty to quickly re-enter and pick up those points.
Speaking of Betty Bomber, she was the last line of defense there for Big Rig, but Big Rig is out of the pack. Dusty calls it off.
And I believe we're going to have another lead change. We do. 11-9 now. CN Power, the hosts, up by 2 in the early going. 6 minutes in. Smacktivis right back on the line. Motorhead Molly out there for CN Power. Megaboosh, the only person in the Sugar Bomb penalty box. Rennie Rumble, Dinah Hercha out there. Both teams going with very short benches so far early in this one. In a flash at the front of the pack, trying to hold back Motorhead Molly, but Motorhead Molly is through and is your lead jammer.
Smacktivis surrounded by pink, but they get out of the pack and are hot on the heels of Motorhead Molly.
Once again, the inability to hold Smacktivis may mean that this lead jammer status isn't worth much. Molly hits the pack hard, calls it off.
Ohio looking for some points there. They're not getting them.
Nothing for either. Dinah Hercha was calling for a cut on Smacktivis to no avail. And there with Lorraine Acid, Megaboosh back in the penalty box. Both have had multiple trips so far early on, each sitting on 2. Out of my Wayman getting her first opportunity with the star against Ballerina. Out of my Wayman immediately goes to the inside.
Ballerina happy to go through the center. She's trying to take that inside line, just takes a foot.
Wayman just falls there as she was about to get lead jam. Oh, and she's going to the penalty box. First mistake made by the Ohio Roller Girls, and it's going to be a power jam for CN Power. Massive opportunity 8 minutes into the first half.
We saw this last night, that CN Power is taking advantage of those power jams, and Ballerina was the person to take the most advantage of those power jams. And you're seeing that again here. Ohio trying to stop her at the front. She does re-enter legally, and she has picked up 5 points.
Avatar knocked her out, but also went out of bounds. This is a good line out there for Ohio. A very experienced defensive line. But a nice little sweep by Candy Crossbones open up just enough room. In a flash, takes a look, goes for the hit, misses. Ballerina through with 5 more points. Excuse me, that was Amy Spears. For those Ohio fans. Ballerina very quickly back around, and a nice block by Candy Crossbones. Great offensive pick to open up that inside line.
Yep.
And Ballerina coming around again. CN Power opening up a big lead here early on.
Candy Crossbones once again. Knowing exactly what a jammer needs, as being a former jammer herself, but she has been playing in the pack quite a bit. Ohio's jammer is out of the penalty box. That's number 10, out of my way man.
And Ballerina, though, is picking up another 5 points. They massive pickup here today so far. Ballerina goes into the pack, picks up a point or two, and calls it off. 2 points will be a 1 on the pack and 1 on the box. Lorraine Acid, some nice one-on-one work. She dislocated her thumb yesterday pretty severely, taped it up. It's still taped up if you look closely. It's taped up in black. These Ohio roller girls are tough as nails.
Many of them doing double duty today.
Including Skate Crime, who is the pivot on the track right now. Played yesterday with the 3 roller derby games.
Amazing endurance to do that. And who else has amazing endurances? Motorhead Molly is the lead jammer there in the pink for CN Power.
Really strong weekend for Motorhead Molly, starting with that phenomenal performance last night. No one can quite dance a line as well as Motorhead Molly can.
Katie Lickerbottom still stuck in that pack with Jubilee holding her back.
Natural Grand Slam.
Ohio trying to split up that pink. Looking successful, but Rennie Rumble is just holding her ground. Joined once again with Aims to Kill and Jubilee.
Nice breakout weekend for Aims to Kill. Her first year with CN Power. She was a call-up for the playoffs last year, but didn't get in any game action. Did travel with the team to Salem, Oregon. Picked up the experience of watching high-level roller derby, and now she's getting her chance here and doing well. Timeout being called by Ohio. No surprise there. 44-9. CN Power opening up a little bit of a lead here 11 minutes into the first half. This is a great opportunity to thank some of our fine sponsors all weekend, including Radar Wheels. Stick around after the game for the MVP Awards. Here on Sunday, we'll cover it live for you on Tor TV. And Radar Wheels will be contributing quite a bit to that MVP package. You can check out Radar Wheels at radarwheels.com.
Another one of those awesome sponsors is Jackson Skates. They are the sponsor of all of our timeouts this weekend.
This timeout is brought to you by them.
Yes, Jackson Roller is a Canadian company committed to engaging elite skaters in product development to ensure its boots deliver world-class performance. Jackson Elite and competitor boots feature the Pilot Falcon, extruded aluminum plates, bionic Swiss bearings, and your choice of Atom, Juke, G-Rod, or DNA wheels.
Thanks to Jackson Skates for all the support this weekend.
They can be found at jacksonroller.com.
All right, back on the 1234 company's jammer skate line is the Smacktivist and Dusty. It is even packs for at least a moment. Amy Spears is standing in the Ohio penalty box. She's getting up now and is going to re-enter the fray, giving Ohio a slight pack advantage, but both Dusty and Smacktivist having a hard time getting through. Lorraine Acid just going one-on-one against Dusty and doing a phenomenal job of it. Smacktivist, Bruceberry Pie to beat. Smacktivist is your lead jammer.
Dusty still at the back of this pack. Ohio just 2-3 blockers on the track. They managed to stop.
3 pretty phenomenal blockers, though. Oh, and Amy Spears takes a big hit from Scarchasm as Smacktivist comes around to score blockers. Some big collisions there. 3 points on the board for Ohio. 44-12 in a flash you're looking at in the penalty box for the Ohio Roller Girls. So pack advantage shifts now to CN Power with Kitty Lickerbottom on the jam line against Ballerina. CN Power has the power position in the back. They lock up Kitty Lickerbottom. Ballerina gets through on the inside. Strong 3-wall to beat, so Jubilee comes up to provide a little offense. A big hit on Out of My Wayman.
Oh, a nice spread back at the back with Aims to Kill.
Avatar and Lorena.
Yeah. Oh, and a little apex jump by the blocker there, trying to drag the jammer back. It was successful.
Kitty Lickerbottom not getting anywhere with Dinah Hercha locked in, and Ballerina's now sneaking through on the inside, sees a hole. Out of My Wayman, though, stops her up, and Lorraine Acid also there. Both blockers doing a nice job as Aims to Kill heads to the penalty box. Wow, neither jammer able to get anywhere in this jam, and Lorraine Acid with a great last gasp hit, and Out of My Wayman drags Balla all the way back. I can't believe we're almost a minute into this jam. No lead jammer has been named. Rennie Rumble and Dinah Hercha doing all they can, but finally Kitty Lickerbottom named lead jammer. We've only gone 3/4 of the track, and it's been a full minute already. Unbelievable defense from both teams.
CN Power switching to defense. Kind of leaving their jammer alone here, trying to stop the bleeding.
Kitty Lickerbottom had a dead stop as Rennie Rumble and Dinah Hercha just wrap her up. Phenomenal defense, and Kitty's decided that she has had enough and calls it off. 3 points on that second pass. There is Aims to Kill in the penalty box, the only skater right now in the SugarBomb.ca penalty box. Big thanks to SugarBomb again for their support this weekend as well. Owned and operated by CN Power skaters Dusty and Pantyhoser. SugarBomb.ca offers custom screen printing, vinyl heat transfers, athletic apparel, and totally rad original designs. Smacktivist and Molly. This has been a little bit of a battle early on in this game.
I think a lot of it is just Smacktivist has taken up a lot of track time.
Actually, I think every jammer is having a battle with Smacktivist.
Yeah.
Oh, Motorhead Molly taking a big hit out of my Wayman again, imposing her presence on this game.
Smacktivist being stopped up by Candy Crossbones, and I think that's Bruceberry Pie. Yes, it is.
Oh, and Smacktivist gets a cut. Wonderful blocking work by Bruceberry Pie and Candy Crossbones to draw that cut.
Motorhead Molly just face to face with Ohio, getting drawn back. Candy Crossbones stopping that from going too far back, and Motorhead Molly is lead jam. This is a power jam for CN Power in pink. Ohio now getting split up a bit, and CN Power quite happy to keep those blockers separated.
Track picked up by the blocker, so only 2 blockers left on the track. It is Avatar and Out of My Wayman, though. Very impressive performance. Bruceberry Pies takes Out of My Wayman down Avatar with a hit, but couldn't quite force Motorhead Molly out of bounds.
We've been seeing a little bit more passive line, and it's really exciting to see the blockers really holding one of the opponents back and doing a little bit of old school goading.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to see a nice trap. But Wayman can only be held for so long. She eventually broke through, and now you see Ohio back in that defensive position at the top of turn 4. Motorhead Molly coming around on another scoring pass. Face to face with Out of My Wayman.
Smacktivist back out on the track, a little bit sneaky, and they do get through quite quickly.
And Molly's called off for a penalty, looking for the call. I'm not sure what it was, but Molly in the penalty box.
So now that leaves Smacktivist as the only jammer on the track. CN Power switching completely to defense, and time runs out. 5 points picked up by Ohio there.
Forearms was the call on Motorhead Molly, so I had to wait for the whiteboard to open up so I could see that penalty call. And there's Motorhead Molly in the box. Amy Spears standing for Ohio. So they'll have a pack advantage on this power start with Kitty Lickerbottom out to jam it. Big Rig is your pivot. Skate Crime and Lorraine Acid will be blocking on this power jam. Dusty, Rennie Rumble, and Jubilee on the defense. And a nice drag back for the start. Cut being attributed to. Nice job by Jubilee to just sneak in behind Kitty Lickerbottom.
Yeah.
So power jam negated. Wow, this is a phenomenal game, really tight. Ohio playing, I think, so far, their best game of this tournament so far.
Absolutely. I think this is the game that both teams were waiting for all weekend long. Certainly the headliner bout, despite being a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Motorhead Molly with some nice moves to try and get by. I believe that's Skate Crime. Yep, it was Skate Crime. Last line of defense. Molly's through as your lead jammer. Kitty Lickerbottom back on the track.
Playing a little defense of her own. Trying to slow down Motorhead Molly. Jubilee up at the front trying to help. Bridging that pack and letting Molly do the work that she does best.
Jubilee, a very smart transition player, good at this switch from D to O. And doing a great job right now, bridging both her pack and her jammer. And Molly now going right up chest to chest against Amy Spears and finally able to battle her way through and picks up 5 points.
And forces a penalty. Out of play major.
And Kitty Lickerbottom looking for the helmet cover pass, and CN Power doing a great job of making that difficult, but Big Rig finally gets it on. Rennie Rumble, though, knocks her out of bounds. Ohio had it.
I was just going to say, I can't tell you how many times I see that panty pass and skaters are just watching it happen, and I love when a blocker just engages and makes that difficult. No sense in wasting time and letting that happen.
Yeah, and it looks like Big Rig better be careful. She's going to lose that star. But it does stay on for the duration of the jam as Molly gets back on the track. Yesterday, Ohio played Toronto's CN Power. Montreal's new Skids on the block, and they had a very strong game offensively, managed 185 points, but unfortunately gave up 385 to Montreal. So defensively, they're having a much better game here against CN Power. Now they just got to get that offense going.
Yep.
And Out of My Way Man is on the 12:34 jam line against Ballerina. Nice defense from Candy Crossbones and Pantyhose dragging Out of My Way Man all the way back.
Ballerina just chest to chest with that blocker, and she does make it through.
That's Lorraine Acid, number 59, one of the vets of this team. Out of My Way Man now with Bruceberry Pie to beat at the front of that pack. She's still on her initial pass as Ballerina comes up on her scoring pass. There's a wall of black at the back holding her back. Betty Bomber and Candy Crossbones getting in on the offense. And Bella's had enough, calls it off just as Out of My Way Man approaches the pack. She did pick up 3 points, though, allowing CN Power to build their lead now to 47 points. Now, if you watched the Sexpo's Bruisers game earlier today, though, you know no lead is safe.
No.
Both of them built leads of about 30 points, and both of them lost leads of about 30 points at various times in that game. So it's 47 points with 10 minutes to go. Still anyone's game.
Smacktivis there in the black again for Ohio. And that's Dusty, number 2 in the pink, jamming for CN Power. Smacktivis is out ahead. Dusty still having trouble on that outside line. 1 to beat, and she just gets out of the pack.
Nice job by Dusty getting past Avatar. Smacktivis, though, in the pack and picking up points. Running Rumble trying to force her out of bounds, and that will force the call off. Dusty's good, getting 1 point. So 2-1 jam, nice job, or 3-1 jam. Nice job by CN Power to steal a point there at the end. Sugar Bomb penalty box has Sugar Bomb in the penalty box. That's Pantyhose, one of the owners and operators of sugarbomb.ca, our penalty box sponsors for the weekend. I don't know if this is what she had in mind.
No. It's not quite the endorsement. Although Sugar Bomb does make those snazzy armbands that avoid using those Sharpies, ruining all of your betting after a tough bout.
And a long after party.
Yep. Making it easy for the refs to see your numbers so they can call you into the penalty box.
That's right.
That's Sugar Bomb's job.
8.5 minutes to go. 70-23 is the lead for the hosts in the final game of the 2014 Quad City Chaos. Smacktivist right back out there to jam again against Motorhead Molly this time. You should probably just assume Smacktivist is the jammer in black unless we tell you differently. Full line of blockers for Ohio for the 4-3 pack advantage.
Activist, clear line on that inside. Running Rumble trying to make it tough for her, but Smacktivist does come out ahead.
In a flash, at the front of that pack, some nice face-to-face defense. Lorraine Acid trying to bridge them, Molly trying to push them out of play.
And there's some penalties being called. Motorhead Molly out of the pack now. Smacktivist back into the back of it. Smacktivist does make it out, calls it off. Chipping away at this CN Power lead. 27 points now for Ohio, 70 for Toronto Roller Derby CN Power.
Oh, some pack penalty troubles now. Rising for Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars, Avatar, and is that Amy Spears? Amy Spears or in a flash. I'm not sure which one went to the penalty box, but 2 in the box nonetheless for Ohio. Kitty Lickerbottom with a very quick pass, but she dropped the helmet cover. A nice try pulling Derby fans here in Canada know that move from the Terminal City Roller Girls. Didn't quite work out as smoothly for Ohio, as Kitty Lickerbottom didn't make the successful pass to Out of My Way Man.
Nope, and Kitty was still holding on to the panty up until just a second ago. CN Power on their point-scoring pass.
I just noticed now that it's Cookie Dough out there on the jam line for CN Power. Her first jam of this game, she picked up 5 points and called it off. Cookie Dough coming back from a long injury layoff, so it's nice to see her back on the track and getting back into game shape. There's Bruceberry Pie, along with Avatar and Amy Spears.
And a flash.
Oh, and a flash. It is in a flash, okay. I don't know why I'm getting those two mixed up. But oh, it's the ponytails. I just got it. The two little ponytails popping out of the bottom of their helmet. All right, Smacktivists back on the line against Ballerina. Oh, Ballerina just evades it.
Yeah. Smacktivists, though, just finding that inside line and hot up on Ballerina. And Ballerina calls it.
Smacktivist was about to line up for a big hit, too. And Smacktivist is just going to stay on the track.
Yep.
Who needs to do one off, one on when you can just do back
Just
to
do
back?
the whole game. Why not? When you're Smacktivist, you can do anything.
Two blockers standing in the box for Ohio, so they'll be out there shortly. Until that time, though, Amy Spears is going to be out there all alone. And that's going to allow Motorhead Molly to quickly get through. But again, Smacktivist so powerful.
Managed to overcome a pack of 3. Now becoming a pack of 2 for CN Power.
But Motorhead Molly quick enough to stay with Smacktivist. And they're both going to enter on a scoring pass.
And Smacktivist calls it off.
But CN Power managing to slip in and steal a point. She got 1 point, and there's one in the box, too. So 2 points for CN Power. With 4:30 to go in the first half, they're up by 47 points. I think they'll take those trade-offs. Out of My Way Man out there against Ballerina. Jammers released. Dinah Hertz immediately, and Rennie Rumble working on Out of My Way Man and able to drag her back. Ballerina, though, having a hard time with Avatar. Avatar is going to drag her back now. Oh, and Bruceberry Pie.
Crazy hit. I see some arguing around that.
Yeah, Bruceberry Pie a little slow to get to the box. Lucky she didn't pick up an extra minute there. Might have had a good point, though. She was re-entering the track and got hit by a skater looked like going in the opposite direction, but I think she got the procedure call for engaging outside of the engagement zone. Would that be what Bruceberry got called on?
I didn't quite see the call.
Still waiting for it to be updated on the whiteboard.
Little box support there from Candy Crossbones. They're going to just talk it out over that minute. And
Candy Crossbones, an incredibly clean player. You don't usually see her in the penalty box. Very conservative player, but very strong. Let's take a look. Still can't see the whiteboard. I'll try and update that penalty for you in just a moment. I'd like to take this opportunity while we have a little break. First, to tell you that this timeout is brought to you by Jackson Skates, but also I'd like to take an opportunity to thank our whole Toward TV crew from this weekend.
on the helm is Mr. Force from layer9.ca, which is where you're hearing from us. Of course, our announcing crew that has come from all over, both from Ohio, Bloomington, and Montreal. There's Dick Smack, Inspector Muffin, Plastic Patrick, Single Malt Scott, McIver, Mr. Whistler, Bill Murray, and the Derby Nerd, of course. And I'm Monichrome.
And we'd like to also, of course, thank Honey Boom Boom, who's been directing all weekend. Thanks, HBB. Oh, and there is that whiteboard. Let's take a look. So, it looks like it was a back block called on Bruceberry Pie. And she was looking for a direction call on the opposing blocker. Also like to thank our camera crew. We will get a list of those people. I see Jesse on the camera right now. weekend we've had a number of skaters, Demolition Dawn, Titmouse, whole number of skaters, and we'll get you that list shortly.
Robotomy was on the camera. It was her birthday yesterday,
And
so
it was
happy
her birthday.
birthday, Robotomy.
Volunteering on her birthday. All right, we've got that list right now. So first, we'd like to thank Papa Koopa, Robotomy, Tucanale, Titmouse, Low Blow, Palooza, Demolition Dawn, Jesse Wilson, Wheels of Misfortune, the Annguard, and our text casters, of course, Jesse, Wheels of Misfortune, and Francesca Flure have been helping us out with the text cast as well. And Scova Notion has given Honey Boom Boom some breaks so she could go on the track and play for the Bay Street Bruisers in the director's chair. And Chrome, do you have an update on that official review?
I do. Bonesy Adams just informed me that number 31 from Pink, that's Bruceberry Pie, is going to be serving an additional minute for insubordination. She did not report to the bench in a timely fashion, and so she will be serving a full 2 minutes.
The only surprise there is that it took that long. It took an official review to get that call.
Yeah.
She stared down that ref for quite a while and had a few choice words as well. So 2 minutes in the box for Bruceberry Pie.
And Ohio is taking lead jammer. That is number 10, Out of My Way Man. Dusty still having trouble with this stretched out pack in black.
And Dusty is being called for a forearm major. So first power jam of the game now for Ohio. The huge opportunity late in this first half to get back in this one. Down a fairly significant margin at one point. They're slowly chipping away. And now with the power jam have a massive opportunity, especially with only 2 CN Power blockers on the track. 4-2 pack advantage.
Excellent pack work by Ohio, not leaving it up to the jammer to do on her own. Just giving that extra little nudge. Candy Crossbones and Betty Bomber are the last 2. Betty Bomber goes to the penalty box.
And this, again, another big opportunity. Suddenly 30 points is the difference. 29 points. Out of my way, man. Oh, and a Lorraine Acid with a big hit on Candy Crossbones. Betty Bomber is in the queue. She checked in, had to come back, wait for a spot to open up in the Sugar Bomb penalty box.
And that's opened up now, so she is headed to the penalty box. This do-si-do sometimes can be pretty trippy for those blockers. It's tough to stay focused when you're not sure who you're matched up with. Dusty is back out of the pack now, and they are working on trying to get some points here.
And Candy Crossbones, oh no, sorry, it's not Candy Crossbones. The other pivot is heading to the penalty box on the track cut. Whoa, and coming in Out of My Way, man, getting an illegal procedure at the end of that jam. She will go to the box. This will be a power jam for CN Power.
Oh.
I just think she
totally
lost.
Kicked those wheels out from under a few skaters.
She just went to stop hard, fell as she was doing it, and we saw this in the last game as well, so she will get an illegal procedure call on that. She will report to the box. Power jam now for CN Power. All of that work to get back within 14 points.
And now Motorhead Molly having the chance to make up the difference. She's up against 3 now.
Gonna try and rebuild this lead for CN Power in a flash as the last line of defense has to let her go. Lead jammer to CN Power. Molly around quickly. Lorraine Acid in the center of that wall. Gonna try and hold them. Rennie Rumble opens up the out inside line. Now Dinah getting involved. Lorraine Acid is locked in though. Oh, and Jubilee with a big hit. It may have been a high block.
We'll see, and they're calling the pack. Molly trying to get around. Yep, Jubilee is going to the penalty box.
Five points picked up, though, for Motorhead Molly coming around. It's a dead stop pack. Still 3-3. Rennie Rumble moving in. Betty Bomber trying to make a hole. Nice work by Lorraine Acid, though. She's a one-woman wrecking crew on this power kill right now.
Betty Bomber trying to open up a space for Motorhead Molly. Ohio not making this easy whatsoever. They have one job to do, and that's to stop Motorhead Molly from scoring any more points.
Ohio just playing desperate roller derby, and it's looking really strong right now. Out of my way, man, though, trying to communicate with her blockers. Not sure if she's looking for a helmet cover pass or just trying to dictate where they should be in the pack. Finally, though, Out of My Way Man gets through on her initial passes. Motorhead Molly is picking up more points. Through, calls it off. That will do it for halftime. CN Power able to rebuild a little bit of that massive lead they'd built, but Ohio showing that they have a lot of roller derby left to play.
Score at halftime now, 91 points for Toronto CN Power. Ohio Roller Girl All-Stars with 63 points. Still feeling fairly clean. Looks like Ohio, we're looking at the penalty board now. Looks like Ohio, a few players sitting there with 4 penalties, but
not bad.
nothing too major.
Do have to worry about skaters like it's Lorraine Acid who are sitting on a lot of penalties, though they've been key skaters. Amy Spears as well. So far, it's been a very even game. Power jams are now evened up. So Toronto has a slight advantage, but the Ohio Roller Girls playing their best roller derby of the weekend.
Absolutely. Like we said earlier, I think both teams were saving a little bit of juice for today and certainly pulling out all the stops for this last bout.
Yeah, they'll have to be happy with this performance, both teams so far. All right, we'll be back in 14 minutes for the conclusion, not only of this game, but of the Quad City Chaos. At the very end of this game, we'll also have an MVP ceremony, so be sure to stick around for that. For Monichrome and the Tour TV crew, I'm the Derby Nerd, and we'll be back in 13 and a half minutes. with Monichrome. We were just watching what you were watching, the great advertisements put together by Layer 9, our technical producer, all weekend. Big thanks to him. And welcome back again to the final half of the final game of this 5th annual tournament here, hosted by Toronto's CN Power and the Bay Street Bruisers at the Bunker in Downsview Park. This, of course, was the famous host of the 2011 Roller Derby World Cup.
Right here in this very building.
Sweet. Now, just to give you get you caught up here, it's 91-63. Toronto Roller Derby CN Power pulled ahead at about the midway point, and they've just been able to barely hang on to this lead. There was a power jam by Ohio that brought them back within 14, but then that was followed by a power jam for CN Power that rebuilt their lead back to 30 points, and that's about where we stand. But as we've also said, this has been Ohio's best game of the week, and I think that probably speaks a lot to their conditioning. Right? This is an incredibly fit team known for their endurance, and they've just gotten stronger as this weekend's gone on.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you got to do when you already have that endurance, is just wear out the other team. And I think they're certainly showing that they have been working very hard at this all season long.
Smacktivist has been a big part of the success for this Ohio team, especially in this game, and Smacktivist is now your lead jammer. Motorhead Molly having a hard time getting through. There is one last blocker to beat, and she has done so and is through, but Smacktivist has already come back around and is on a scoring pass.
Smacktivist getting stuck behind Rennie Rumble for a bit.
Wow, Ames
and
kill.
Ames did call, yep, she did just eke behind Smacktivist. Smacktivist didn't see what Ames was up to, and they are now in the penalty box. Motorhead Molly coming around for points. The
CN Power rookie aims to kill with the heads-up little jump back to ensure that cut by Smacktivist. So this is not the start that Ohio was looking for, but I have to say Ohio's penalty kill has been phenomenal, and they've got all 4 blockers on the track. Motorhead Molly just trying to push them out of play. Rennie Rummel and Ames to kill are going to let Motorhead Molly go it alone. She's slowly peeling off those blockers, gets knocked down to the inside by Anna Flash. Oh, and Molly, maybe she didn't know. The toes of her skates were outside of the track when she went down. Power jam negated. So she will serve the same amount of time that Smacktivist has served, about 30 seconds or so by my calculations. Nice job by CN Power to drag Smacktivist back. Make the jammer enter as far back as you possibly can when coming out of the penalty box.
Yeah, and especially when that pack was so close to the penalty box, give Smacktivist a little bit of room to skate back.
Smacktivist knocked out of bounds briefly, but very quickly back in behind Dinah Hercha. Dinah Hercha forced to let the jammer go. 5 points picked up by Smacktivist on that pass. So once again, we're seeing the Ohio Roller Girls chip away at this lead. Smacktivist, though, having a hard time getting through the defense now as that jam comes to its conclusion. 4 points only picked up. 1 blocker able to save her point for CN Power. 96-72, 24 points as Motorhead Molly stands, the lone skater in the SugarBomb.ca penalty box.
That is number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom, jamming for Ohio.
Mixed line at the back of this start. Skaters spread out nicely. CN Power a little bit separated. Candy Crossbones and Bruiseberry Pie
having a hard time peeling this skater off.
Nice defensive start, though, from CN Power. Held her up long enough to get Motorhead Molly back on the track. Motorhead Molly trying to split through a back wall. Gets knocked out briefly, quickly back in, tries to go to the inside, stays on bounds, and gets through. Oh, no, she didn't.
She didn't. She skated on that inside line.
Back-to-back power jams now. Huge opportunity early on for the Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars.
Now we're seated just behind the bench, and I was just watching the Smacktivist clap in celebration.
Yeah.
Seeing that cut. They're going to be the lone jammer here. I think that's a position that Ohio definitely needs to be in if they're going to make up this lead.
That's right. So CN Power needs to refocus here early on, giving up a few power jams, only with nursing a 20-point lead, and Smacktivist is easily capable of getting that on a power jam.
Ohio formed a neat little bubble there hoping that Smacktivis could just grab somebody's hips and push through. CN Power now just trying to use their hips to stop Smacktivis from getting through, but they are through. They are in scoring position now.
Nice 3-ball by CN Power set up. Avoiding in a flash. He was trying to split them. So again, great penalty kill here by CN Power. Could be a savior as they run into a lot of penalty problems. Slipping by aims to kill. 40 seconds. Smacktivis has already picked up 10 points. Coming around quickly for a third pass.
Oh, and Ohio just sniping in on CN Power. Smacktivis skating backwards through. And they're going to keep this jam going.
That was Avatar with a nice little offensive push from the outside, and she's going to try and do it again, but Jubilee was ready for it this time and puts Avatar down. Smacktivis so strong, so hard to move. Suddenly within 11 points, and Smacktivis has already picked up points here, so it will be much closer than that, looking for the full 5.
Motorhead Molly now out of the penalty box, trying to tiptoe on that inside line.
Finally, Running Rumble was able to get Smacktivis out of bounds, but such a quick re-entry, and the Ohio Jammers back on the track and finishing the scoring pass. And there it is, 5 more points. 6-point game as Motorhead Molly re-enters.
She's been beat down 3 times now, is finally out. Now trying to pick up some points, but Smacktivis calls it off.
We have ourselves a 2-point game here, Derby fans, 96-94. Ohio has come out flying in the second half. Ballerina going to be on the line now against Kitty Lickerbottom. There it is, the empty sugarbomb.ca penalty box 5-on-5 roller derby here, coming up to the 6-minute mark of the second half.
Ballerina jamming, but Kitty Lickerbottom is out first and is lead jammer for Ohio.
Poor start to the second half here for CN Power. They're going to have to try and rein this in, get back into this game. Nice
Kitty
defense.
Lickerbottom still stuck behind that pink wall, and she calls it off before Ballerina can enter. Looks like 1 point stolen by CN Power.
Nonetheless, we do have a lead change. It's a 1-point lead now for the Ohio Roller Girls, and Dinah Hercha putting on the star for the first time. She was a great relief jammer yesterday in both those games for Toronto Roller Derby. Smacktivis back on the line. The 12:34 jam line for Ohio. It remains 5-on-5.
I'm anticipating a lot of block jamming here with this line. Dinah Hercha and Smacktivis, both amazingly solid skaters, and Dinah Hercha takes lead jammer status. Well ahead. She is flying out of this pack already. Just about to enter the back. Looks like Ohio trying to keep this fast. Dinah Hercha is still faster. She gets through, calls it off. For Smacktivis is even within a half track of the pack.
Another lead change, 101 now, 98. Feel the tension rising here in the bunker. And there's Jubilee in the penalty box. Just the second trip to the box for Jubilee.
It's Ballerina in pink
Kitty
for CN Power. Kitty Lickerbottom for Ohio.
Big Ballerina chant from the partisan home crowd here as Ballerina comes up against Avatar, and in a flash, Amy Spears trying to add a little muscle to that line. Finally, it's in a flash who knocks out Ballerina. Ballerina brought all the way back. And Kitty Lickerbottom is your lead jammer.
Just all smiles about that.
But Ballerina is through.
Is a wall of pink there. Kitty Lickerbottom trying to make her way around and has to call it off before Ballerina enters the pack. Ohio picks up 2 points.
And we have ourselves a tie game then, 101-101. Now, I don't want to claim too much intelligence because I am an announcer, but when we watch these two teams come out of the dressing room, I do have to say we remarked on how loose CN Power looked and how focused and determined Ohio looked. They were two very different teams that came out of this penalty box and out of the dressing rooms, and we're seeing that play out on the track right now. But
no, we are just 10 minutes into this half, and I'm seeing a bit of a sea change here. Dinah Hercha, once again, lead jammer.
And if there is one skater who always brings the intensity for Toronto CN Power, it is Dinah Hercha. Showing that now as she comes around on her scoring pass.
Takes the outside, gets the points, calls it off.
But another CN Power skater heading to the penalty box, so that will be 2 in the box, I believe. Nope, just 1. Rennie Rumble heading to the penalty box. It will be a 4-3 pack advantage. Dusty out there against
the Smacktivist.
Dusty wearing the C for Toronto CN Power in this game. Dusty getting knocked to the inside. Smacktivist trying to work their way through the outside.
Stuck behind the rookie there, Sarcasm, holding Smacktivist back. And Dusty gets a penalty.
And once again,
cut track.
Smacktivist out there too for the power jam. This is exactly what Ohio wanted. And Smacktivist stays in bounds, picks up 5 points.
Sneak. Smacktivist giving a thumbs up to the bench.
And it's Avatar again working the power jam. Bruceberry Pie was looking for a track up, but a nice re-entry by Smacktivist avoids that. Just 2 left on the track now for CN Power as Ohio Roller Girls opening up their biggest lead since the 10-minute mark or so of the first period. Sarcasm trying to push Smacktivist to the outside. Smacktivist fakes in, gets through. Rennie Rumble back on the track now to help bolster this defense. Smacktivist, though, helping to build a fairly substantial lead.
Ohio blockers coming in to help. Looks like a back block being called on one of those blockers.
Lorraine Acid.
And Dusty flies out of the penalty box and gets another track. Sorry, no, not a...
I had to. She came right in front of the whole pack. I was a little speechless.
What?
A little speechless. Big error there from the veteran blocker, Dusty.
Oh, big hit there on the rookie, Sarcasm. She looks like she's feeling that one.
And the Ohio Roller Girls have taken over this game in the second half, coming out with all sorts of intensity. I have to admit, CN Power did not look ready for the second half. And now 12 minutes in, CN Power is in full control. Timeout being called, timely one for CN Power. Wow, what a turn of events there. What happened coming out of that penalty box? I saw her burst in front. I thought maybe I missed something, but no, it was illegal procedure. Back-to-back penalties. It's 4 jammer penalties now in the first 12 minutes of this half.
I have to say, whether you're a fan of CN Power or Ohio, I hope that everyone's fingers and fingernails are intact right now, because I seem to be sitting on my hands throughout the rest of this bout.
A little bit of an update. Sarcasm is being tended to by the EMTs just off of the CN Power bench. It took a big hit from Avatar at the end of that jam. Wow, what a game. This timeout is brought to you by Jackson Skates. Big thanks to Jackson Roller for their support this weekend at the Quad City Chaos. Jack and the Socks, another big sponsor. The Sauce Shack, Rumbling Rage, Neon Skates, Sugar Bomb, Monster Muffin. Thanks to all of you guys for your support of this tournament. The first ever D1 tournament in Canadian history. And the Ohio Roller Girls are looking to get back into things here. It's been a little bit of a rough weekend for them. They came in here ranked 22nd in the WFTDA, 7 spots ahead of CN Power, the team they're playing now, and they're trying to maintain that. And a big opportunity now for Kitty Lickerbottom to build what is turning into a fairly substantial lead.
Jubilee bridging this wall. That's Rennie Rumble with the pivot star and aims to kill, trying to hold Kitty Lickerbottom, but unsuccessful. Ohio now coming around for points.
Ohio looking out of my way man tried to open up the outside. Rennie Rumbles having none of it, hit her back. Now aims to kill, looking for a big drag back on Kitty Licker bottom. Out of my way man picking up a direction of gameplay penalty.
Rennie Rumble making it pretty tough for Kitty Lickerbottom to get anywhere.
And Rennie Rumble waiting way too long there and getting called off. CN Power making a lot of small errors that are going to be critical in this game.
Dusty now out of the penalty box. She's completed her first pass. Kitty Lickerbottom feeding her back to the pack. And Dusty now has to enter a good 40 feet behind the back.
Avatar is having the half of her career, or at least the half of her weekend. She is just dominating defensively here in this game.
The whole pack comes down. Back block being called on Bruceberry Pie.
CN Power cannot stay out of the penalty box. This game has been blown wide open here. The Ohio Roller Girls building their biggest lead of the game, 46 points, and Kitty Lickerbottom picks up another easy 4. Wow, Ohio killing it in the second half here. The final game of the Quad City Chaos. And yeah, what is the difference? Is it the level of intensity? The discussion at halftime, making those necessary adjustments?
I think it is, and I also think that CN Power needs to stay out of the penalty box. Yes. I think maybe they were a little loose and making a few little errors, but they've now pulled Dinah out with the star. Smacktivist jamming for Ohio. Smacktivist is out ahead. Dinah's still stuck at the back, trying to get some assistance from Candy Crossbones.
Ohio just in complete control of this half.
Oh, Dinah dancing around. I think Ohio's probably going to get a low block. Yep.
Out of my way man back to the box. She's been picking up penalties as well, but Smacktivist with a nice move to get around. Calls it off.
Just twist Rennie right off her feet.
Unbelievable run here in the half. 97-14 is the run so far throughout the first 15 minutes of this second half. Ohio controlling things from the start. Finally a pack advantage, first pack advantage of this half for CN Power. Dug themselves quite a hole now, 55 points, the biggest lead for either team of this game. And Kitty Lickerbottom having some hard time with Pantyhose at the back of the pack, aims to kill, is going to have to pick it up. Lead jammer finally going to CN Power. It's Ballerina. It's the first lead in a long time for the skaters in pink.
Nice to see that CN Power is not letting this intensity that Ohio brought into this half get them down.
No, and CN Power finally with a little bit of a pushback, and now they have a power jam. It's going to take quite a while to get back in this, but this will be a good start if they want to get back in this game. Oh, Ballerina taking a risky move, but a nice quick re-entry. Not going to get it this time within a flash. Lorraine Acid one-on-one with Ballerina. Such a tenacious blocker as we see there. Betty Bomber doing a good job, though, of making sure she can't get back.
And Betty Bomber going to the penalty box.
But it did free up her jammer, so maybe it was worth it. At this point, it's 3-3 in that pack. Ballerina makes a nice move around Lorraine Acid, but Lorraine Acid very quickly resets. Bruceberry Pie getting called with the back block, and Bruceberry Pie again. Oh, and getting knocked down by Out of My Way Man, the pivot for the Ohio Roller Girls.
Out of My Way Man taking a penalty. Direction of gameplay there.
Wow, and Lorraine Acid has just picked up her 7th penalty of this game. She had 4 at half. We talked about her, how important she is, and what those 4 penalties mean. That is going to do it. That's a massive loss for this Ohio bench. I don't think it's been acknowledged yet. But that is her 7th penalty. So Lorraine Acid being taken out of this game. So big loss. 40 points now is the difference. 15 points were made up in that last jam. So CN Power starting to dig themselves out of the hole, as Ohio did at the end of the last one.
All is quiet now here in the bunker as we're sorting out the paperwork here involved with the foul out.
Not too many foul outs this weekend. There's been a few. Bleeding Heartland had a skater foul out yesterday, and Lorraine Acid, one of the critical pieces of this Ohio pack, now out of this game. And Ohio plays with such a short bench that it's not just like they can replace her. Looking at the board, though, Bruceberry Pie is also in danger of fouling out. She's sitting on 6 right now for CN Power, so she's going to have to watch it. She did pick up an insubordination earlier in the game.
Yes.
That is added to that total.
Yeah, when you get 2 at a time, they add up pretty quick.
All right, Dinah Hercha now back on the jam line, number 21. Will she be the savior that CN Power needs? She is your lead jammer. Kitty Lickerbottom able to sneak her way through. And Chrome, I don't think do we really need an update on that one, or is it just
no? Bonesy just told us what we knew.
Confirming the foul out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks to Myref Nutt and Bonesy Adams for their work this weekend as the announcer, helping us out, making sure we are always informed of what's happening. Yeah. 3 points picked up on that one. So CN Power again inching slightly closer, but they've got 2 sitting in the box now. It'll be 2-2 for the start of this jam, but one Ohio blocker is standing, and she will be out shortly. Ballerina and Smacktivist on the 1234 company's jam line. Timeout now being called by Ohio. I'm going to try and sort things out here. It's generally...
Yep, you were just talking about 1234 Skate Company, so I just wanted to let you know that they're based in Peterborough, Ontario. 1234 is owned and operated by Tord co-founder and former Death Track doll Lucid Lou. Serves the 705 area code. In addition to gear, 1234 also offers skate maintenance classes, training, and league launch parties. I gotta say, as a former Death Track doll, working with Lucid Lou, she's a super gearhead. If you want anybody to teach you how to put your wheels back together, she's the one.
Yeah, she's been around for quite a while. She plays in multiple leagues now to this day. You can see her with not only with Peterborough, but also Durham. She plays on the Devils, their travel team. She's got her hands in many different leagues all around this province. I should note that Lorraine Acid has fell out, but Dusty is now being treated by the EMTs. She's got a problem with her arm, so that would be a big loss as well. Scarcasm also with an injury, so CN Power's bench is getting depleted as well. The members of Gang Green are very loud, the Ohio B team. They're in here cheering on their team, and they're drowning out the considerable CN Power crowd. But Ballerina gets lead jammer here as a Smacktivist being held up by Jubilee and Rennie Rumble.
Ohio making this pack quite fast for Ballerina.
Ballerina's already picked up a couple points. She's going to call it off. And she got at least 2. One on the track, one in the box. Yes, just 2 points being called for Ballerina. Again, 1 more point. 35 points now is the difference. Avatar in the box for Ohio, Rennie Rumble and Bruceberry Pie for CN Power.
Just 11 minutes left in this bout. And Dinah Hercha once again proving too valuable to be in the pack. She's out with the star.
Lead jammer going to Ohio.
Pantyhose were the only one in the pack. Now for CN Power, so Dinah's on her own.
And Out of My Way Man picks up 4 points. Now looking to catch Dinah Hercha. And she does pass Dinah Hercha at least briefly, so Dinah Hercha gets involved, calls it off. She picked up her point already, though, so that will be a 5-point pass for Out of My Way Man, building that lead back up to 40 points. All they need to do now is maintain the rest of this way, and this will get things back on track for Ohio. Of course, they went to championships last year, had a huge victory over Rat City on the opening day, made it to the quarterfinals where they fell to some team called Gotham.
Never heard of them. Tell me more.
No, they were good. They ended up winning that whole tournament. It was a shock. Smacktivist back out there to jam. Takes a big hit from Jubilee and from Betty Balmer, but stays in bounds on both accounts. Ballerina being held at the back of the pack. Smacktivist is your lead jammer. Ohio continues to control here in the second half.
Bell is still completely surrounded. Just as Smacktivis enters, comes around Jubilee, and picks up 4 points.
Oh, and Ballerina trying to sneak through in there at the end. Don't think she picked up any points. She did not. Despite the the crowd's objections, they thought Smacktivis waited a little too long to call it off. Dinah Hercher right back out there now on the jam line. It's a full pack for Ohio, only 3 on the track for CN Power. 9:16 to go. 43 points is the lead. This is about the way it ended last year at the Quad City Chaos as well.
And Ohio has lead jam.
Yeah, CN Power just not able to maintain the level of intensity that they had in the first half. Perhaps carrying over from the game last night against Montreal, the phenomenal performance against the new Skids on the block. Nope. Oh, 1 point on the board for Kitty Lickerbottom. 44 points now. Smacktivis just right back out on the track against Ballerina. Five-on-five roller derby, the way it was intended to be played. And here we go. CN Power has the back defensive line. Let's see if they can hold it. Ballerina now getting up to the front. Jubilee being sent off for a direction of gameplay. Ballerina having a hard time, though, with a 3-wall at the back. Smacktivis now sees her lane, gets through. She's your lead jammer. Ballerina is through, but she's got about a half a track to make up. Smacktivis quickly coming up on the pack, going through the scoring. Out of my way, man opens up the middle. She gets through, gets at least 3 points, and I think that's all she'll get. No points on the board for CN Power. Ohio playing this perfectly here in the last 10 minutes or so of this game. Timeout being called by CN Power. They're going to have to start watching the clock. They need it. They've got one official review remaining and one timeout. This timeout is brought to you by Jackson Roller Skates. And wow. We kind of saw it happening early on in that second half. Ohio coming out with all of the intensity out of the locker room.
Absolutely. They certainly came out focused and ready to continue.
Yep. And now it's going to be a massive, and they're just playing so cleanly right now, too, as cleanly as they have all weekend, really. They can feel that the victory is in their grasp. And we do forget, too, I think because of the way CN Power has performed all weekend leading up to this game, that Ohio is ranked above them.
Yes.
I think a lot of people were expecting CN Power to pull off this upset. And so maybe that's been surprising some of our viewers, some of the watchers here. But Ohio still, they've played the biggest level that this game has to offer. The WFTDA championships. They've been around.
Yep.
They know
what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They don't get rattled. And they know that you got to play 60 minutes to win a flat track roller derby game. Dinah Hercher now at the front of the pack, working a 3-wall, able to almost get through.
Kitty Lickerbottom stuck behind a wall of pink at the back. They did get dragged back by Rennie Rumble, and Kitty Lickerbottom is out of the pack just as Dinah Hercher is entering, barely unscathed. Dinah picks up 4 points.
And they're going to keep going. Pulling a little bit of the Skids strategy here, hoping to maybe draw a penalty of some kind. But Dinah Hercher now is going to need to get through and get her points. She does pick them up. Calls it off. So 8-4 jam. Whew, 6.5 minutes to go. Jubilee standing, Rennie Rumble in the box yet again. Her penalty total must be getting up there. I believe that is her 5th. 2 in the box, though, as well for Ohio. So 2-2 in the pack. Out of my way, man, out there against Ballerina. Ballerina faked in, then went out. Out of my way, man, just held her ground. Now Balla gets hit just at the last minute by Skate Crime. Nice job to get back in there, though.
She is lead and she is out.
Wayman trying to talk to her blockers and get some offensive help. Sarcasm, obviously not too injured. She's back out there doing well. Jubilee holding her well.
Bala coming up for more points. Ohio sees her coming.
And she gets through. And it looks like that they're going to try. They've got all 4 blockers in a big pack advantage, so they're going to see if they can keep this jam going. Perhaps try and tire out of my way man, maybe force an error, although the way out of my way man is playing, I think that will be very lucky. But Sarcasm with a big hitting. Candy Crossbone with another one, too.
Out of my way, man, taking their knees. Ballerina coming around for another pass. This was some wise move, absolutely.
Yep. It was a good risk to take at this juncture of the game. And Candy Crossbones having a great jam. Avatar with a big hit, though. Throwing Rennie Rumble off the track. Still can't get by. Sarcasm takes out of my way man down. One more time, Ballerina back around for another scoring pass. Maybe CN Power is not quite done yet.
We're definitely seeing that intensity, and that's something that CN Power does really well.
Chasing down Wayman. She wants that extra point. And she's going to call it off. Wow, 4:30 to go.
Yeah.
26 points now is the lead, so significantly chipped away. Dinah Hercha, the Smacktivist.
2 jammers of the weekend, I would say. Dinah Hercha and the Smacktivist. I've said it 100 times, I think, but I certainly love a blocker jammer.
Yes.
And both of these two are exactly that.
We did see Smacktivist actually block quite a bit at the championships last year.
Mm-hmm.
More than capable, but when you're such a formidable jammer too, it's hard to not be used in that way. Dinah Hercha, though, is your lead jammer. So another one, CN Power mounting a late comeback. Do have to wonder if it's a little bit too little too late.
And Smacktivist gets a track cut. Nope, sorry, that was
Pantyhoser. But Smacktivist is being held in the pack, and it's going to be a natural grand slam. If Dinah can get through, she does. 5 more points on the board. But now Smacktivist is freed. It's a 21-point game as Dinah Hercha comes back around, enters, calling it off. Oh, everyone paused there. No one called it off. Interesting strategy by CN Power as aims to kill, draws back Smacktivist and drew a track cut. Second time in the game, aims to kill has done this. Phenomenal work. And
Dinah passes the star to Betty Bomber. We haven't seen her jam all weekend long, but she's been an amazing jammer for CN Power in the past.
And let's see if she can do it here in a flash as the last line of defense. Betty Bomber tanked after a really long jam already. Oh, falls. Talks to her bench as she goes. So the points were picked up. It's a 17-point game now.
Dinah doing some blocking on the line there, trying to open up that inside for Betty Bomber. Candy Crossbones getting in the play there too.
Big pack advantage right now for Ohio, but Betty Bomber makes her way through. Oh, and Betty Bomber called on a forearm penalty. And that, I believe, will be the game. With only 2 minutes remaining.
Yes.
Smacktivist back on the track now, gets through quickly. Oh, but takes a big hit from Dinah Hercha at the end of that jam. So nice job.
5 points for Ohio.
And how many points going on the board? So 22 points. They'll have a power start here.
Minute 51 left in this game.
Looks like official review. Official review being called, I think, by CN Power. $19 points is the difference. Wow, almost speechless. This timeout is brought to you by Jackson Skates.
What can we say now? Let's just talk about
the jam line all weekend has been brought to you by 1234 Skate Company. And, of course, the penalty box all weekend has been brought to you by sugarbomb.ca. Thank you to our supporters. Also like to thank Toronto Roller Derby's longtime sponsors, Now Magazine, Pivot Star, Foundation Physiotherapy, Data Printing, Brown Gold, and Marley Coffee as well. Thanks for your continued support through QCC and beyond.
Should also mention, after this bout, we will be doing a MVP award ceremony, so stick around for that. You'll get to see how the announcers felt about all of the playing here. We do have a little bit of power, and we get to choose who the MVPs are. So
it's not much power, but it's a little bit.
No, makes us feel good.
So yeah, that we will cover that live for you here. However you're watching this, Canuck Derby TV, Derby News Network, or right from the source himself, layer9.ca. Thanks for tuning in all weekend. It's been a great weekend of roller derby. We've seen a few one-sided games. We've seen some nail biters, including, of course, that 17-point loss last night. CN Power just coming up short against Montreal's new Skids on the block, but setting a new record for a Canadian performance against Canada's top team. And right now, if it were to stand as it is, but although Ohio's on a power jam, this would still be the best performance that CN Power ever had against Ohio Roller Girls.
And it's worth noting as well that CN Power is missing a few key players this weekend. Bambi has left on retirement, so she is no longer with CN Power. Nasha the Smasher and Rainbow Fight are also out this weekend. So both key players, both Team Canada players as well. So
Nasha, of course, is one of the captains of this team as well. So not having that leadership there, but nonetheless, that is didn't seem to phase them last night in their toughest challenge ever against the new Skids on the block. They were tooth and nail fighting right to the end. And they did have control of this game right up until halftime. And whatever Inspector Muffin and Hellion Boy said to the Ohio Roller Girls at half, they took it to heart. We are getting a decision on this official review. It was Toronto's official review. They might have just done it to stop the clock. Who knows, right?
It's possible.
But, we will find out. Bonesy Adams will give us an update as soon as he hears.
And speaking of missing players, Ohio has also had some retirements, and Hellion Boy was in skates as of last year and is on the bench now. So, both teams are feeling a little bit of new blood here. Yeah, for sure. And of course, the massive retirements of Phoenix Buns. Personally, one of my favorite skaters, one of the game's all-around greats. And Pippi Ripperstocking, who is just purely a heart and soul skater for so long on this Ohio team. Those are skaters that you can't replace on the track, but you also can't replace on the bench. So that's a massive loss for the Ohio Roller Girls. Chrome, do you have an update on that official review? A bit. There is some discussion about Pink 23's forearm call. They're still trying to determine what the final call is. It seems that will be overturned. So 23 will be coming out of the penalty box. I think they're still trying to work out what's going to happen, whether one of the other skaters, if the black jammer is going back in. Now, I'm assuming you're thinking it will be overturned only because of the smile on Wade Wilson's face as he turned around from the official meeting. But Betty Balmer has not come out of the box yet. No. She's still shaking her head, almost imperceptibly, as she has been since she's been sitting in there. So the official review continues. We'll wait to see what happens here. There's 1 minute and 53 left on the clock. It is an 18-point lead for the Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars. They do have a full pack on the track. And it looks like it may be a 4-3 pack advantage to start this jam. And yes, Betty Balmer is coming out of the penalty box. Big cheer goes up, and that's going to put Dinah Hercha now onto the jam line against the Smacktivist. Still, though, with 2 minutes remaining, I guess it's not as over as it was coming into this jam. And now the Smacktivist is sitting in the penalty box. Wow, we definitely going to need some. There was a do-si-do that was happening in that box before the jam was that's called. Right. So Betty Balmer. And so now Betty Balmer is being released. Yes. Smacktivist has to sit. So this is a clear upset for Ohio. You know, we often joke that official reviews almost never work, but this weekend we've actually seen a few work. So I take back what I said that this game is over. It's not quite over yet. There is still 2 minutes remaining. Power start for CN Power. That power jam was negated.
So Dinah Hercha will be out here to jam 4-3 pack advantage, though, on the defense for the Ohio Roller Girls.
Ohio putting up that strong wall. Rennie Rumble putting a hole in it. Dinah trying to throw a shoulder in, and she takes that outside line. She is lead jammer for CN Power.
Smacktivis is standing in the box, though. CN Power will have to be aware. Of course, Smacktivis has been absolutely phenomenal from the opening whistle of this tournament.
Absolutely. CN Power is aware. They do have Smacktivis. Dinah coming in for points.
Smacktivis gets knocked down to the outside. They're going to drag the jammer all the way back. Dinah Hercha, though, having no luck getting through a phenomenal defensive wall. Finally able to, on one foot, stay in. Oh, and Dinah Hercha picks up the cut. And this now, I think, will end up doing it with only a minute to go. Great effort, though, by CN Power to come back. They had a rough start to this half. It was a 93-14 run, or 97-14 run to open up this half, the first 15 minutes. Smacktivis is just going to back off, realizes a mistake could be made, and they're just going to let the clock wind down. 45 seconds.
I don't know how I feel about this, nerd.
The crowd is booing.
This is not good roller derby. This is laziness.
Crowd is booing, but Ohio realizes they need these ranking points. Crowd is giving it to the Ohio Roller Girls. Usually a fan favorite, getting a rain of boos as they let the last minute of play. And look at those blockers. They want a piece of it.
I have to agree with the fans here.
For sure. Yeah.
This is not okay.
As a fan of roller, and look at the Ohio blockers, though, telling her to just wait.
I'm going to take off my announcer hat now. This is not okay.
No.
This is not roller derby. This is laxaderby, and Dinah Hercha is going to put some hurt in this.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The clock is run down.
And that's the bout.
Wow, anticlimactic finish.
That said, CN Power just picked up a couple points.
That's right. Yeah.
There you go. Ohio could have taken that opportunity to score some points, and yet CN Power came cruising out of the penalty box and picked up a few. And lesson learned.
But you can also
ruler on the hand. Come on.
And you can be critical too. But I mean, it was a penalty that did it. It was a CN Power mistake. That allowed that opportunity to happen, but anticlimactic finish to what was an intense game of roller derby, an absolutely dominant second half for the Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars. That will go a long way in helping them keep their ranking this weekend. Still suffered a big loss to Montreal, had a big win against Bleeding Heartland, and for the second Quad City Chaos in a row, Toronto Roller Derby drops to 1-2 on the weekend.
Yep.
I don't think they would have expected that coming in.
Unofficial final, 172, CN Power, 185, Ohio Roller Girls All-Stars.
Again, CN Power getting badly outscored in the second half of that one. Just putting up over 100 points. No, actually much less, 80 points. And the Ohio Roller Girls putting up 120, so winning that second half by 40 points is the difference in this game.
Yep.
And,
so that's that.
That's that. That is that. Thanks for tuning in all weekend. What a game, 185 to 172. And again, all those CN Power fans watching, you could be disappointed with the loss, but both of these losses this weekend surpassed. I think their expectations had risen well above their ranking. And when you come down to it, and you look at the rankings, here's Plastic Patrick. Thank you for joining us again this weekend, Patrick. Single Malt Scott up there as well. Part of our announcing crews all weekend. But yeah, for those Toronto fans, remember, these are great performances. They overperformed their ranks. Even if they wanted those wins, they still overperformed the expectations coming in. So it was still successful.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we can start tuning into Flat Track Stats very shortly and see what the damage was for the Ohio Roller Girls and if there was some gains for CN Power despite the loss. Yeah, and I know Captain Alabama is probably out there already working on the WFTDA ranking algorithm, and he will be posting those, I'm sure, if you follow him on Facebook. Now, you're going to have to bear with us for a while here as Bill Murray, the host announcer for Toronto Roller Derby, gets ready to give out the MVP awards. We're going to keep the broadcast going as the award ceremony takes place. So let's turn off our mics and switch it up to Bill.
I think I think we're doing it.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to hear our lovely voices. So the MVPs of the tournament, each team's going to get an MVP, and it goes, the announcers did choose it. Oh, and the MVP for the Sexpos was, what was that?
It was Ohio.
Blitz Lemon is your MVP for Ohio Gang Green, another B-team skater. So they're going to the B-team MVP awards first. So Blitz Lemon is the MVP, and Ohio MVP for Sexpos. Android WK, MVP for the Bay Street Bruisers.
She's the team captain, new to the Bay Street Bruisers as well.
She's a team captain of the girls.
Sorry, yes, she is. Team
the girls in their second season with the defending Toronto Roller Derby Host League champions. MVP here, Bruisers once again for the second year in a row, went 2-0.
Knuckle Sammy, MVP for Bleeding Heartland.
First time, and Knuckle Sammy is our MVP. That is not Knuckle Sammy, is accepting the award.
Skids on the block. MVP is Just Bandit.
Shocker! What a shocker! Just Bandit, one of the finest skaters our country has ever produced. Two-time member of Team Canada.
Team Canada. That should be a big.
Coach, of course, of men's Canadian men's roller derby team. Fixture of the Canadian roller derby team. Another shocking decision is the Smacktivist from the Ohio Roller Girls. Absolutely phenomenal weekend of roller derby from this Ohio jammer. Nearly unstoppable.
Yes. And you can hear the fans from Ohio just hollering Mac, Mac, Mac. And Dinah Hercha. And it's funny because we made this decision in the half from this last game. Before the second half. And it was very hard for me to keep my mouth shut. But I just really cherish the fact that we actually picked up on before that second half. Because she proved it. Yeah.
Hit it all. Blocked and jammed. So congratulations to all of the MVPs.
Thanks, and thanks again for watching on Layer 9 and for downloading. If you do plan on downloading later, after this evening, then you can start watching every single one first and backwards and relive QCC.
That's right. So we're going to sign off here for Layer 9 and the whole Tour TV crew. Mike and our director for Monichrome and the rest of the announcing crew. I'm the Derby Nerd. Thank you again so much for tuning in and supporting Canadian Roller Derby. We'll see you before then, but we will also see you next year for QCC 2015. Stay tuned to Boutcasting in Canada. Thanks again, everyone. Whew. It was intense.
Yeah.